Weird animal antics at 5:20 on BBC One, but first, rounding up the games and goals. It's Final Score with Gabby Logan.
Relegation.
He was one of the heroes of the afternoon.
Applause from the away supporters. The latest score is Wimbledon. Go through to the Premier.
John Terry's tears, we all remember.
It was two crucial weeks.
A group of fans, they're not making any favour to the team, and they are singing and wasting time preparing banners. What they have to do is to support the team. I have a title. Someone decided that the title will be interim. Why? Oh, just in case. Okay, fine. They want to blame me for everything that is wrong. I think that there was a mistake. Very clear. I don't know who decided that, but it was a mistake. And I will leave at the end of the season, so they don't need to waste time with me.
Good afternoon, welcome to Final Score. Yep, it's been an interesting few days for Rafa Benitez, but he's remained in charge of Chelsea, at least for today's game with West Bromwich Albion, one of 7 Premier League games currently underway. No interim pundits or hidden agendas this afternoon, though goodness knows I have tried. We've got 2 men who are popular with fans up and down the country, Robbie Savage and Steve Claridge. Well, kind of. We keep the boo boys out of the studio. Let's catch up, though, with the very latest in today's 3 o'clock kickoffs in those 7 Premier League games for you. And Chelsea are a goal to the good against West Bromwich Albion. Demba Ba has given his manager a boost, his 2nd league strike for Chelsea, giving them that 1-goal advantage. Everton 3, Reading 0. Fellaini's 12th of the season, setting Everton on their way to a 7th home win of the campaign. And who knows what it condemns Reading to. They desperately needed points at the bottom of the table. Manchester United 1, Norwich 0. Alex Ferguson might have been a party pooper in denying Ryan Giggs' 1,000th United appearance, but Kagawa made sure that United are on course at the moment for 3 points. Southampton 1, QPR 1. Remy and Ramirez equalising then for Southampton just before half-time, the goal scorers there. The managerial birthday boys, the 2 managers today, but who will be turning points into presents later on. It's Stoke 0, West Ham 1. Jack's the lad for West Ham. Collison's first half effort there, the difference between those two. Sunderland 2, Fulham 2. A sublime volley last week, a dinked penalty today. Berbatov on the score sheet, but Sessegnon has just equalised for the home side. They were 2-0 up, Fulham. Swansea 0, Newcastle 0. Swansea, is it a little bit of a hangover from their League Cup victory last week, or are Newcastle really getting into this now? They've hit the bar. Cisse's had a good chance. Will there be a goal at the Liberty Stadium? OK, let's head to our reporters around the grounds. We're going to start at Stamford Bridge, where the banners were out before the game in spite of the manager's outburst during the week. Some of them slightly more professional than others, but everyone seemed to want to share their opinion on Rafa Benitez. On the pitch, though, things going OK, Andrew James.
Yes, they are, Gabby. Still Chelsea 1, West Brom 0. That goal from Demba Ba. Welcome, by the way, to this week's edition of Family Fallouts. In the blue corner, Rafa Benitez and Chelsea. In the red corner, West Bromwich Albion and Peter Odemwingie. Odemwingie is on as a sub for West Brom. He got cheered by his own fans. A few moments ago, a chorus went up around the ground of "Stand up if you hate Rafa." Probably not the best of times for Rafa to stand up himself and come to the edge of his technical area. On the whole, though, it hasn't been too bad for the Chelsea manager, and that goal from Demba Ba has probably helped his cause too. Frank Lampard had the ball in the net early in the second half. We thought it was perhaps his 200th goal for Chelsea, but ruled out for offside. This game is by no means won yet by Chelsea. West Brom still in it, but Chelsea lead, Gabby, by 1-0.
Let's go to Old Trafford. I've just seen a shot of Delia in the stand there, Damian Johnson. Like the rest of us, she's probably disappointed that Ryan Giggs didn't get his 1,000th appearance today. Bit of a party pooper, Fergie, wasn't he?
Yes, he was rather. Giggs has spent most of the first half sitting about 10 yards away from him in the director's box. You're right, it's been a poor hors d'oeuvre, really, for the main course of Real Madrid in the Champions League here on Tuesday night. No 1,000th appearance for Giggs, as you mentioned. Few of the United 11 have made a definitive case for inclusion on Tuesday, it has to be said. Shinji Kagawa's first half volley separates the sides. Plenty of huff and puff, but little real quality. No matter, as things stand, United heading 15 points clear at the top of the Premier League.
Thank you. From the very top to the bottom, and at St Mary's, one of those games that you think, Tony Husband, might be looked back upon by these two teams as the game that either saved them or perhaps sent them down, because these 3 points are huge. At the moment, no one's got them.
That's right, it's a game on a knife edge in front of a hostile crowd. Harry Redknapp, of course, returning to Southampton. His QPR side led in the first half through Loic Remy. Well taken goal after a quarter of an hour. Southampton then levelling in stoppage time at the end of the first period. Gaston Ramirez following up a J. Rodriguez shot which was spilled by Cesar in the Rangers goal. Southampton have lost Adam Lallana and Danny Fox to injury. Jermaine Jenas has come on as a second half sub for Queen's Park Rangers as Hill puts the ball behind for a Southampton corner. They've been a better side in the second half, but you could not call this one at the moment. 1-1.
Let's go to Goodison Park, and Richard Askham has the details there for us.
Yes, hi Gabby. Nervy moments in the first half have been replaced by confidence and composure from Everton after the break. Building on Marouane Fellaini's headed opener, the home side have really found their feet. Stephen Pienaar with an outstanding second goal for the home side as well, cutting in from the right before smashing in a superb strike with his left foot before Kevin Mirallas made the 3 points certain with a clinical finish. Reading certainly worried Everton in the first 45. The lively round, just stay with this because he's an attack for Everton, Gabby. Marouane Fellaini trying to win the ball in the penalty area, but Reading scrambled it clear. They did, as I mentioned, worry Everton in that first 45. Could have had a penalty as well, but Everton well in control.
Let's go to the Stadium of Light. And Sunderland not out of a relegation scrap yet, James Mason, but just about 30 minutes into this game, they looked in dire trouble. They're getting themselves out of that trouble now, though.
Indeed, Gabby. Game on here. Sunderland overturning a 2-0 deficit, as you say, to put themselves in with a chance of taking all 3 points here. But they worked hard for it, going behind to, firstly, an audacious penalty from Dimitar Berbatov before Sasha Aretha doubled their lead to make it all too comfortable for the visitors. But with half-time approaching, Fulham gifted the Black Cats a route back into this game. Philippe Senderos pulling Danny Graham's shirt in the box. Craig Gardner dispatching the subsequent penalty. And moments ago, Stefan Sessignon's low shot levelling the scores. Sunderland now really have a chance to go on and win this. 12 to go, it's 2-2.
Well, if Swansea are tired after their cup exploits, Bradford City are inspired, perhaps. They're a goal up against York in League Two. Maybe they're doing a late charge for the playoff places now they've had that taste of Wembley, Steve.
I'm not sure it'll be the actual game that would have tired Swansea out. Probably what they did after. That's probably what they're feeling a little bit tired, I think. But, yeah, we'll allow them that one, won't we?
Yeah, I think so. Let's go to the Britannia Stadium. Ivan Gaskell, an interesting afternoon for you there.
Yes, but a disappointing day at the Stoke City office for Tony Pulis and his not-so-merry men. What are we, into the last 15 minutes here? West Ham ahead, and most of the afternoon the natives here have been rather restless and experienced a range of emotions, mainly outrage and frustration. Frustration when Jack Collinson neatly tucked away West Ham's only goal of the game, and the only goal of the game, right on the stroke of half-time. Outrage second half, 2 penalty claims waved away by the referee Jonathan Moss, and rightly so in my opinion. And if Stoke do lose this, they've only themselves to blame. I think West Ham deserve it at the moment. 15 to go, West Ham ahead.
Thank you very much. We'll go to the Liberty in just a moment. We're going straight to Old Trafford. Damien Johnson for another goal.
It's another goal to Manchester United. It's another goal to Shinji Kagawa. It was Rooney who made it. He chased a long ball, outpaced the Norwich City defence, namely in the form of Bassong. Looked up and unselfishly squared the ball to Kagawa, and he struck the ball nonchalantly right-footed past Bunn. It's Manchester United 2, Norwich 0.
Got to say, what an unbelievable finish. First of all, Rooney does so well. He turns the defender, lays into Kagawa's pass, and he just literally stops and just side-foots it in the corner. What a cool finish. He's been great today, and to be fair to him, in Madrid he played exceptionally well. I think he might get a start on Tuesday.
Yeah,
Putting himself into the starting lineup for the big one against Real Madrid on Tuesday. Let's go to the Liberty Stadium, as promised. Jason Mohammed, tell us about this one.
Well, Gabby, Papi Cisse scored 2 stunning goals here last season, but missed a great chance to put Newcastle United 1 up just after the break. Ball over the top, Swans defence smashed his volley over. Seconds later, Johan Gouffrin had an even better chance and shot over. Johan Kabai's shot was tipped onto the bar by the Swans keeper Michel Vorm. Moussa Sissoko's shot on 71 minutes, tipped away by Vorm. By now, you are getting the picture. It's all Newcastle United, but it's still 0-0.
Those are those kind of games, aren't they, where you just can't break a team down. They've had a lot of chances, Newcastle.
They've played all the stuff that, they've been very, very impressive. People might say Swansea are tired, but give Newcastle credit. They've gone there and they've outpassed. Swansea's been a goal, QPR.
Oh, thanks for taking the element of surprise away for us. At the St Mary's, Tony Husband. Who's got this one then?
Queen's Park Rangers have got this one. They are in front with 13 minutes to go. Well done by Ji-sung Park down the right-hand side. He won a tackle, got back up onto his feet, and he delivered the cross right into the danger zone, right in the 6-yard box. Bothroyd is claiming it. May have come off a Southampton defender, but the important fact is that Queen's Park Rangers are in front here, and I think it is Bothroyd who will claim the goal and got the final touch.
There have been a couple of goals for Brighton in the last few moments. Lower there with his hat-trick on 78 minutes against Huddersfield. But let's talk a little bit about the significance, if nothing else, of that goal.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great defending again from Southampton. We saw Danny Fox get caught out in the first half, and this time it's Yoshida who goes across, and you need to make the tackle with your left foot. He doesn't. He makes it with his right, never actually gets there. And Park gets down the side and he puts it, to be fair, it's a fantastic ball in. He's got time, he's got space, he looks up, doesn't panic, puts a great ball in between the midfield, the defender and the goalkeeper, and Bothroyd is there just for a simple volley and a tap in. And what a big goal.
You've got to give Harry Redknapp a bit of credit for introducing Jay Bothroyd into starting lineup. Left Tarapte out, who arguably has been QPR's best player this year, but watching Match of the Day, last week when I think it was Alan Shearer doing a piece on Tarapte, seeing where does Tarapte play. He's brought Bothroyd and he's got the goal. Looks like it's going to be the winner. Fair play to Harry.
You can see that Harry was sort of running out of options when he started sticking wide left, wasn't it? He played him in
just
behind.
Just have a look at what that does to the bottom of the table. It puts Queen's Park Rangers onto 20 points.
Yeah.
And when you've got Reading losing, they're on 23, and Aston Villa, of course, not playing today on 24, suddenly it doesn't quite look as big a gap, does it? When you get out of the teams and you're into the 20, then bring Southampton right back into it.
Yeah, only 7 points between them. And also makes maybe a few of the teams above them just a little bit nervous as well with regard to what's left for the rest of the season. So, yeah, it's a massive result.
He did say before today, 11 games left. He said, I need 6 wins from those 11 games. Is he on his way on his birthday to one of those wins? Let's go to the KC Stadium. Adam Pope, who scored?
How emphatic is this now? Hull City 5, Birmingham City 0, and Guido with his second to add to the brace to George Boyd and Robert Corran straight after half-time. What a header this was. It was El Mohammadi's cross, headed home by Guido. That's his 5th goal in 4 games hit the KC Stadium. Amazing. With the amount of Egyptians they've got, the pyramid formation is working. Hull 5, Birmingham 0.
Hull capitalising on Watford's inability to win last night. They're moving to the second automatic promotion spot. The leaders, though, Cardiff, stuttering a bit today, Steve Sutton.
Yes, they trailed by 2-1. Middlesbrough hitting them hard in the first half. Kieran Dyer and Sammy Amiobi with the 2 Middlesbrough goals. But Aaron Gunnarsson has got one back in the second half. Has to be said, Cardiff a different side to the one they were in the first half. They're pressing really hard. This game could still go either way. Middlesbrough 2, Cardiff 1.
Goal news at the Amex. I think 3 since the last time we spoke now, Lawrence.
It's goal crackers here, Gabby. Brighton 4, Huddersfield 1. Leonardo Ajoa, first of all, completed his hat-trick with 2 goals in a minute. First of all, a powerful header from an out-swinging corner. Then he was too strong for Hunt down the left, moved inside, round the keeper, and slotted home that hat-trick, just like Batistuta, the Argentine striker. And then just a moment ago, substitute Craig McHale-Smith upended, up-stepped David Lopez, and converted the penalty. Brighton consolidating that playoff spot. It's 4-1.
Yep, trying to cement themselves into the playoff places. Leicester trying to do the same, but Portman Road, how are they doing?
It's Ipswich 0, Leicester 0. You can see how promotion-chasing Leicester have kept 14 clean sheets this season on the rare occasions that they have been threatened by Ipswich, trying to avenge that 6-0 defeat in November. Then keeper Kasper Schmeichel has been there. Saves from Chambers and McGoldrick today. But chasing that automatic promotion spot themselves, Harry Kane has missed the chance of the match. A catastrophic back pass by Chambers set him up. He put it wide. A bumpy, bobbly pitch has helped no one, and it's Ipswich 0, Leicester 0.
Couple of goals to tell you about in the Premier League. First for the Liberty Stadium, Jason Mohammed, take it away.
It's incredible. Newcastle United have had 5 amazing chances and Swansea City go up the other end and they get a goal. Great work from Wayne Routledge on the right-hand side. His cross was not dealt with by David Santon. What he's doing in the penalty area, I have no idea. The ball falls to Luke Moore, the substitute, and it just creeps over the line. It's Swansea City 1, Newcastle United 0.
I'll ask you what Santon was doing there in a moment, but let's first of all go to Goodison Park. Richard Askham, another goal there.
Yes, a goal for Reading. Gabby, Hal Robson-Kanu, he's played pretty well today since he came on as a substitute. Ian Hart found him on the left. He headed it past Jan Mocker, who had no chance. Probably just a consolation, but Reading have one back.
League One leaders Doncaster now 3-0 up against Hartlepool. Billy Painter on 81 minutes. Let's talk about those two, starting with Swansea, which was against the run of play, wasn't it, for the last half an hour at least?
Well, the ball comes in and Davis Santos almost thinks it's going to head it, so he's ducked, it's hit him on the face, dropped to Luke Moore, who was going to shoot, see Stephen Taylor diving in, paused, Taylor slid across, and he's hit it, and it's come off the defender and it's trickled over the lines, but it was cool play from Moore.
Initially, wasn't it, yeah.
It won't be the greatest goal Swansea have scored this season, but Newcastle will look at their defence there and...
Yeah,
and
well, what happens is the player at the far post loses the ball in the flight, it hits him, hits the other defender, and then Luke Moore obviously then does his little dummy, stands the player down, and then as he tries to hit the ball, Stephen Taylor comes in, it hits Stephen Taylor, goes the other side of the keeper and goes into the back of the net. So, hey, they'll take that, no problem. They've been second best in this game.
OK, and we'll talk maybe a bit about the Reading goal in a moment. But first of all, let's catch up with a goal at Portman Road. Robin Bailey.
No clean sheet for Leicester. Ipswich have scored. It's 1-0, and it's thanks to David McGoldrick, who was through on goal. It was actually a mistake by Wes Morgan, who's been running a running battle with the referee. He's been booked. He's been booed by the crowd every time he touches it, and that put pressure on him. He lost the ball. There was McGoldrick. Here's a chance for Leicester. Good save by the keeper. It's all happening here. But McGoldrick was in on goal about 10 yards out, and he, from a really acute angle, he smashed it in with his left foot. Schmeichel couldn't save this one, so it's Ipswich 1, Leicester 0.
Groans from the Leicester contingent here, ex-Leicester. Sorry.
Well, you got one of the best Leicester players that ever was in the studio with you. And,
it's very nice, Steve, of him to say that about you, isn't it?
He scored the goal in the cup final. I hope they don't blow it. I want some Leicester to get up. I think it's going to be playoffs for them.
Yeah, you've got. I mean, it's a big game for Ipswich as well. You know, Ipswich only just outside the relegation spot, so a massive game for them. David McGoldrick finally signed for someone, didn't he? After being on loan at Coventry, had a magnificent time there. Could be the difference, but the problem with Leicester are they've been top. Expectations risen. All of a sudden, it was supposed to be a given that they were going to get promoted. It isn't. It might be a case of settling for playoffs, but that would be the least they would probably have expected, and that's the problem.
Back to Ipswich, you know, Mick McCarthy's doing a great job. Wolves should have kept Mick McCarthy. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Look where they are now.
Yeah, well said. OK, let's go to Stamford Bridge. Torres is on. Andrew James.
Still Chelsea leading by that goal to nil. They're looking for a penalty here at the moment, but Kevin Friend hasn't been their best of friends this afternoon. They thought they could have had a couple of penalties earlier on, but West Brom managed to save that particular spell of pressure. The man in goal for West Brom, Ben Foster, has been by a million miles the man of the match. That tells you that Chelsea perhaps deserve their lead and perhaps the 3 points. It's Chelsea 1, West Brom 0, still playing, Gabby.
Torres is on, and that was, you know, if we were saying the positives perhaps of Benitez, that, you know, he got Luiz playing in a different position and, you know, trying to get him playing in front of the defence as more of a midfielder. Not getting Torres going must be one of the things that niggles him, and he feels perhaps. Well, I mean,
it would have been. It was difficult anyway, wasn't it? I'm not sure. It's a gimme that he plays okay for Liverpool, so he'll play all right for Chelsea. I mean, obviously the biggest talking point will be the reception that Benitez said and what he said in the week. I think personally, I just think that what he's come out and said is he's now made it clear where he is in the scheme of things. He's made his stance. He's obviously not happy, and why should he be with the reaction he's had since he's been at the football club? He's not happy with interim. That's not right either. That should never have been given the tag that he should have been given. And he's also said, I'm going in the summer. So concentrate on getting behind the team rather than getting on my back.
All right, we're going to go to Old Trafford. Another goal there, Damian Johnson.
Shinji Kagawa has scored his hat-trick and made a case for inclusion against Real Madrid here in the Champions League on Tuesday night. That's the highlight this afternoon on a fairly drab performance, really, by United. They've done just enough to win it, but Kagawa's really stood out, full of running, taking his chances when he got them, and he raced on to a through ball, lifted it over the keeper, Mark Bunn, in beautiful style. United 3, Norwich 0.
Another lovely goal, and he's got fans, hasn't he, around Europe?
Yeah, I mean, the Dortmund manager, as we heard on Football Focus, said, you know, give him time because he is a fantastic player. He's a little bit of an injury, stop-start sort of start to his career at United, but just wait because, boy, he can play. And well, I'll tell you what a great touch that was. First touch, Rob, to go through the defence like that and a super finish as well. So we're seeing, maybe we're seeing the real.
And do you think
Kagawa.
a very good chance to start against Real Madrid?
Yeah, I mean, probably there'd be one or two who are disappointed they're actually in the side today because obviously, you know, Sir Alex might have been thinking about what was going to go in resting players, but they've done OK today. You know, it's taken a while to get the result, but he's been a real plus point today for them.
Real Madrid 2, Barcelona 1, by the way, in El Clasico, and taking place on a Saturday, which is unusual, and that means, of course, that they're going to fly tomorrow to England because there's apparently a strike, an air traffic strike on Monday, and they're going to train at the Etihad on Monday because they don't want to damage the Old Trafford pitch further, was Mourinho's dig, and said it's not in good enough condition to train on.
Looks all right today. Too many complaints
Nice
today.
that the Manchester neighbours are willing to lend their pitch, though,
yes,
isn't it?
absolutely.
OK, let's go to St Mary's. QPR with that lead. Tony Husband, what are Southampton throwing at this right now?
They're throwing everything at them. They've been camped in the 18-yard box for much of the last few minutes. And Rob Green, who was on as a substitute after Julio Cesar was taken off, he had a knock after a clash with Rodriguez a little earlier on. Well, he introduces himself into the game in great style. A brilliant save from a Jose Font header. 5 minutes of time. Looked like he was heading for the corner. And Green, one-handed, got a hand to it, cleared it away from the danger zone. And QPR hanging on.
Of course, you may have read this morning in the newspapers that allegedly the QPR players on a mid-season break to Dubai were involved in a bit of heavy drinking. Harry Redknapp's come out and said that's completely blown out of all proportion. And
obviously, it would have been team bonding. You know, I've been away on trips to Dubai with some of my teams, and what a goal!
OK, let's go nicely out of an awkward subject. Let's go to Old Trafford. Damien Johnson.
Well, Wayne Rooney has just put the tin lid on this Manchester United performance with a fantastic goal, a dipping shot from fully 25 yards out. Bunn had no chance. It's not been vintage United by any means, but the headlines will be Kagawa's hat-trick and that fantastic strike from Rooney. 4-0 United. They're on the way to a 15-point lead at the top of the Premier League.
Great goal, wasn't it? See, I had to come out my point because it was that good. You have to make it justice for it. It was
First goal against Norwich.
Well, just the way he went past the defender and then he's bent it, he's bent it the other way into the top corner. Great goal, 4-0. Wow.
It's not even really top corner. It's almost over the top of the keeper, but it's like a free kick where they get it up and they get it down very quickly, and very little the keeper can do about it.
Let's go to the Liberty Stadium because it's full time, Jason Mohammed. It's a long way to go for Newcastle to come away with nothing after all that effort and pressure in the second half.
You're absolutely right, Gabby, especially when they've played some really, really good football. I've just seen Alan Pardew walk down the tunnel. Looks really gutted. That's probably the best way to describe Newcastle United. They will be gutted because had Pape Cissé and Johan Gouffran taken their chances, Newcastle United would have won this game, but they missed the target when they really should have scored. They were all over Swansea City, who for large parts of this match looked jaded after their League Cup win last Sunday at Wembley. But after good work from Wayne Routledge on the right-hand side, the ball fell to sub Luke Moore, and David Santon, I still don't know what he was doing. He should have cleared the ball. Luke Moore, his shot crept over the line, and Swansea City have nicked a win. Swansea City 1, Newcastle United 0.
And it's all over at Ewood Park. Alan Biggs, it looked like there might be some kind of comeback, but it wasn't to be.
No, Blackburn scoring 2 late goals here against Peterborough, but the bottom team have held on for a 3-2 victory, which they richly deserve, courtesy of a hat-trick inside 16 minutes in the first half from Dwight Gale. 2 very good finishes. Blackburn were all over the place defensively and even up front, where Jordan Rhodes missed a chance, but finally he got on the score sheet on 73 minutes. Blackburn's first goal for over 6 hours, his 21st of the season. Substitute David Jones, newly signed on loan, pulled another one back in stoppage time, but the bottom team have held on for a richly deserved 3-2 victory.
And it's all over at the Stadium of Light. And after being 2-0 down, James Mason, that might feel more like a win for Martin O'Neill.
Indeed, and they possibly should have won the game as well. But with 3 defeats on the bounce, Gabby, Sunderland fans must have feared the worst when their visitors raced to a 2-goal lead and looked in complete control of the game. Fulham's first coming from the penalty spot. Dimitar Berbatov dinking past Mignolet, who hardly moved. Sasha Reether then made it 2, finishing from close range. And Fulham are rightly thinking of back-to-back wins, but much to their manager Martin Jol's anger, Sunderland given a lifeline. Philip Sendros pulling Danny Graham's shirt. Craig Gardner smashed in a penalty, and Stefan Sessegnon's second-half equaliser led to the last 10 minutes where Sunderland pushed and pushed. Some Fulham defending was stout at the end, but they couldn't get that extra goal. It ended Fulham 2, Fulham 2.
I think that's what they call a spoonerism. Fulham 2, Sunderland 2. Let's go to Stamford Bridge. Andrew James, all over there. What kind of reception is this victory getting?
Yeah, all over bar the shouting, and there isn't too much of that. Just looking around the Matthew Harding stand, the shed end away to the left, plenty of applause from the Chelsea fans. They did their best to support their team, and when the crowd was announced at just over 40,000, the announcer said, "Thank you for your marvellous support, as always." Perhaps a dig at the manager and his comments in the week. But he got what he wanted from the team, did Benitez. He got 3 points. Demba Ba's first half goal. Oscar had half a dozen chances to win it. Ben Foster, outstanding for West Bromwich Albion, who missed Lukaku, the man, of course, on loan at Albion from Chelsea, unable to play today, and Albion were not a potent force without him. Chelsea 1, West Bromwich Albion 0.
Just tell you about that Swindon goal there. Victoria Park, it's all over there. Ian Turner in the Highlands derby. How did it finish?
0-0 and a near sellout in Dingwall for the Highland Derby, but it was a big disappointment with stalemate, probably the word that best describes the game. Mikhail Kovacevic with 2 off-targets efforts was the man who looked most likely to score, and he's the county right back. Managers Adams and Butcher had a first half face-to-face altercation, but unfortunately their enthusiasm was not replicated on the field. Ross County 10 unbeaten, 0-0.
I should just tell you there are 6 minutes of added time.
They've got to be aware of that when they get corners, when they got free kicks in that area. They've got to make sure the likes of Di Maria and Ronaldo, you know, they've just got to bring them down at source. They can't let them break because I think they're so dangerous. I think it's going to be a great game.
Difficult balancing that, because if it stays like it is, they're through.
Yeah.
They haven't got to do anything, so that's their problem. Do we go out and try and win this game and get caught on the counter? Do we keep it tight and we don't allow them, you know, too much freedom to play? That's the balancing act that Southampton's got to get right.
Problems Stoke and West Ham don't have to worry about this week. They played at the Britannia this afternoon. Ivan Gaskell watched it. How'd it go?
Well, West Ham won it. Rot stopped for them. An away win at last after 6 consecutive defeats on the road in all competitions, though this will make life feel an awful lot more comfortable in the main one, the Premier League. Substitute Jack Collinson won it 3 minutes into first half injury time, though he found it all too easy to slot past Begovic with space to spare. West Ham then survived no less than 3 second half Stoke penalty claims and a late Charlie Adam volley which thundered against the crossbar, though Jääskeläinen actually didn't have to make a meaningful save, and for me West Ham deserved it. Winners by the only goal.
Let's go to St Mary's. The full-time whistle has blown, and 3 important points to the away side. Harry Redknapp applauding his fans, applauding his team, Tony Husband.
Yes, and it really is a case of many happy returns for Harry Redknapp in so many ways here today. QPR have sealed only their 3rd win of the season, and in doing so they've done enough to make Southampton sweat. The goals, Loic Remy 15 minutes in, a nice finish at a long ball, caught Southampton's pressing fullback Danny Fox out of position. The home side levelling in first half stoppage time. Gaston Ramirez following up substitute Jay Rodriguez's shot. The game was really up for grabs in the second period. Rangers' Jay Bothroyd, in his first Premier League start this term, pounced after Ji-sung Park did so well down the right-hand side to win the ball and put a dangerous cross into the 6-yard box. Rangers indebted to Rob Green's terrific late save from Jose Font. Green himself a substitute for the injured Julio Cesar. Whatever happened in Dubai may soon be forgotten. Rangers have won this one.
Well, whatever happened there, maybe good. Team spirit looks good. They look like they're fighting for each other. Could this be a turning point for QPR?
It's massive, isn't it? I mean, 4 points now off of safety. That puts a completely different complexion. Love the way he walked down the line. Realised he was a bit too close to the crowd, so came inside before he went to the QPR fans. But that's a massive result for him.
Love the reaction. Have that. Love that.
Well, there was boos ringing out around the St Mary's. Of course, he left Southampton under a bit of a cloud, didn't he? Went to the arch rivals Portsmouth, and there was not a lot of love lost there for Harry Redknapp.
No, obviously he got the message, didn't he? So that was his reply.
Well, from the bottom of the Premier League to the top of the Championship, and the leaders have lost. Steve Sutton.
Yes, it's Middlesbrough 2, Cardiff 1. Cardiff, of course, have been here before. Are they getting promotion jitters? Middlesbrough hit them early in the first half. Kieran Dyer and on loan Sammy Amiobi with 2 first-half goals. Cardiff hit back in the second half with Aaron Gunnarsson, an unchallenged header just on 68 minutes. And then Fraser Campbell just before the end of the 90 minutes with a free header. He headed it down into the ground so hard it bounced over the bar. But then the most extraordinary 6 minutes of added on time. Helgeson had a glancing header, brilliantly saved by Jason Steele. And then with the Cardiff keeper David Marshall up the other end of the pitch, Middlesbrough broke. Ledesma had a great chance from just inside his own half, couldn't get the shot away. The goal had nobody in it. It's ended Middlesbrough 2, Cardiff 1.
All the scores coming your way shortly, but just a reminder that if you haven't had enough of Robbie Savage, there's more of him and Mark Chapman at 6:06 on Radio 5 Live. And there's coverage of the North London Derby on 5 Live tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Are you involved in that as well?
No, Monday night.
Okay. Highlights on Match of the Day 2 at 10:25. That wasn't a licence to promote your next gig, by the way. So plenty to look forward to. Time now, though, for the classified results, read by Mike West.
And opening with the Barclays Premier League. Chelsea 1, West Bromwich Albion 0. Everton 3, Reading 1. Manchester United 4, Norwich City 0. Southampton 1, Queen's Park Rangers 2. Stoke City 0, West Ham United 1. Sunderland 2, Fulham 2. Swansea City 1, Newcastle United 0. The match between Wigan Athletic and Liverpool, an evening kick-off at 5:30. On to the Empire Championship. Barnsley 2, Bolton Wanderers 3. Blackburn Rovers 2, Peterborough United 3. Blackpool 0, Bristol City 0. Brighton and Hove Albion 4, Huddersfield Town 1. Charlton Athletic 0, Burnley 1. Hull City 5, Birmingham City 2. Ipswich Town 1, Leicester City 0. Leeds United 1, Millwall 0. Middlesbrough 2, Cardiff City 1. And the game between Sheffield Wednesday and Nottingham Forest, an evening kick-off at 5:20. In the Empire League 1, Brentford 1, Scunthorpe United 0. Bury 0, Crawley Town 2. Coventry City 1, Swindon Town 2. Crewe Alexandra 1, Portsmouth 2. Doncaster Rovers 3, Hartlepool United 0. Leyton Orient 3, AFC Bournemouth 1. Milton Keynes Dons 1, Preston North End 1. Notts County 1, Carlisle United 0. Oldham Athletic 0, Sheffield United 2. Stevenage 0, Colchester United 2. Walsall 3, Shrewsbury Town 1. And Yeovil Town 1, Tranmere Rovers 0. The Empire League 2, Accrington Stanley 0, Torquay United 0. Aldershot Town 1, Gillingham 1. Bristol Rovers 3, Burton Albion 0. Cheltenham Town 2, AFC Wimbledon 1. Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Chesterfield 1. Exeter City 3, Northampton Town 0. Morecambe 3, Rochdale 0. Oxford United 2, Port Vale 1. Plymouth Argyle 2, Barnet 1. Southend United 1, Rotherham United 1. Wycombe Wanderers 1, Fleetwood Town 0. And York City 0, Bradford City 2. On to the Blue Square Bet Premier. Barrow 2, Tamworth 0. Cambridge United 0, Forest Green Rovers 0. Gateshead 1, Braintree Town 2. Hereford United 0, Nuneaton Town 0. Hyde 0, Newport County 1. Kidderminster 3, Ebbsfleet United 2. Mansfield Town 1, AFC Telford United 0. Southport 2, Dartford 2. Stockport County 0, Luton Town 1. Woking 1, Lincoln City 1. And Wrexham 1, Alfreton Town 1. Into Scotland and the William Hill Scottish Cup 6th round. Hamilton Academical 1, Falkirk 2. St Mirren 1, Celtic 2. The Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, Hearts 1, Motherwell 2. And Ross County 0, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 0. The Iron Brew Scottish Division 1, Dumbarton 2, Cowdenbeath 2. Dunfermline 0, Partick Thistle 4. And Livingston 4, Airdrie United 1. The Scottish Division 2, Albion Rovers 1, Alloa Athletic 5. Arbroath 1, Ayr United 4. East Fife 2, Queen of the South 3. Forfar Athletic 3, Stranraer 1. And Stenhousemuir 3, Brechin City 3. The Scottish Division 3, Annan Athletic 2, Berwick Rangers 2. Clyde 2, Peterhead 0. Elgin City 1, Stirling Albion 2. Queen's Park 1, Montrose 2. And Rangers 3, East Stirlingshire 1. The Danske Bank Irish Premiership, just one game today. Ballymena United 2, Donegal Celtic 2.
So let's have a look at the table then, starting with the top of the Barclays Premier League. And Manchester City, of course, not in action until Monday. Kagawa's hat-trick ensuring United stretch their lead at the top of the Premier League to 15 points. Chelsea up to third, having brushed off the pre-match managerial controversy surrounding Benitez by beating West Brom. And fourth play fifth in tomorrow's London derby. At the bottom, Harry Redknapp given a 66th birthday present with a vital victory at former club Southampton thanks to Jay Bothroyd's winner. Reading's defeat at Everton keeps them firmly in trouble while fellow strugglers Wigan play Liverpool in the late kick-off and Aston Villa entertain Manchester City on Monday. And let's have a little look at the Championship. Well, Cardiff lost out. Hull with a big win. Those two are now 5 points apart in the top two there. And the remaining 6 places, Watford, Crystal Palace, Leicester and Brighton, Hove Albion. Brighton with an important win. And at the bottom of the table, Bristol City and Wolves and Peterborough keeping those 3 relegation berths warm at the moment. Barnsley just out of it for the moment. It's as you were in the top 2 in League One, with Doncaster remaining top after beating inform Hartlepool and Sheffield United in second after victory at Oldham. In the chasing pack, Tranmere fell to defeat at Yeovil, but Swindon bagged victory in Ken McDonald's first game in charge. Basement boys Portsmouth's first win in 23 games gives them hope of beating the drop, but Bury lost at home to Crawley. There were also defeats for fellow strugglers Oldham, Scunthorpe United, but Colchester moved out of the drop zone with a victory at Stevenage. None of the teams who are in the top 5 this morning won today in League 2. Gillingham were held at Aldershot but increased their gap at the top to 3 points. That's because Port Vale and Burton both lost. Exeter jumped 2 places to 4th after beating Northampton, who slipped to 5th. Plymouth move off the bottom on goal difference after they won and AFC Wimbledon lost. And Bristol Rovers picked up 3 valuable points to edge nearer to safety. And the Blue Square, Wrexham's draw against Alfreton allowed Kidderminster Harriers to move level on points at the top with a win over Ebbsfleet. At the bottom, bad news for those trying to beat the drop. Telford, Ebbsfleet and Gateshead all fell to defeats today. And a little look at the SPL table. Celtic were in lunchtime Scottish Cup action. Second place Motherwell took full advantage, beating Hearts, but still a massive 16 points adrift. The only other SPL game today saw Inverness draw with Ross County, so they stay 3rd and 4th respectively. So arguably the big result affecting the bottom of the Premier League today. That crucial, vital, just how vital will ask John Motson now win for QPR at St Mary's Stadium. And you can see what it meant to Harry Redknapp. And he was absolutely just so vocal and thrilled with his win. He saw a lot of fight from his team this afternoon. John Motson saw it as well. Motty, this could be the win to propel them now just 4 points from safety to some incredible, miraculous great escape.
Well, only their third Premier League win in 28 games, Gabby. That's how significant it may become. And Harry Redknapp, as we saw there, well, his day started badly with some headlines he wouldn't have wanted in one of the tabloid papers regarding his players' behaviour in Dubai. But it ended on a really high note. And my goodness me, they gave everything today. Southampton will look back on this as an opportunity missed. They started the game well, but QPR, once they got in front from Remy, Southampton got back level for a while, and then of course Bothroyd coming up with the winning goal, and QPR then defended well. Also, Robert Green came on as the substitute goalkeeper because Cesar was injured, and he made a most magnificent save with his right hand from a Yoshida header, which you'll see on Match of the Day tonight. But this really has changed, as I think Steve said there, this has really changed the dynamic at the bottom, because if Rangers could put another win together with this, all of a sudden they're really back in the mix. And Southampton, by the way, are being dragged right into it, Gabby.
Thank you very much, Motti. They are being dragged back into it, but then if you look at the table there, where do you stop? I mean, Newcastle's defeat today, Sunderland's draw leaves them on 30 points apiece. Are they safe? Are we saying...
Well, what you're looking at from a QPR perspective, you're looking at 4 points to safety, basically, and that would include, obviously, they will now look at Wigan, Villa and Reading as the three teams that they will be closest to, and hopefully they can get above from their perspective. But it also does leave Southampton in the equation as well, because obviously Southampton have won that game 13 points. It's only 7 now.
You've got to look at Sunderland. The point for them today was massive. Took them above Newcastle. I still think Sunderland down have got a chance. But from QPR's perspective, it's to 4 points. But I think Newcastle and Sunderland, 36 points. I think they need 2 wins.
Harry said before today, 6 wins from 11. So that's 5 wins from 10 they've got to get now.
He was positive, though, wasn't he, in the way that he set them up. As I said, play 2 up front, which they haven't done always. And they went after the game. It was a decent game of football, no doubt.
OK, thank you. Let's head to Stamford Bridge. The big story all week has been Rafa Benitez. At least a better day on the field. Jonathan Pearce.
Good victory for Chelsea. In the first half, they played very well. Some sweet combinations between Matar, Oscar and Azar. All three played very well. The only goal of the game, Demba Ba from close range after a free kick was swung beyond the far post, headed back by Luis, who'd lost his marker, and there was no one close enough to Demba Ba to stop him scoring. The second half was a more turgid affair. West Bromwich Albion were tighter defensively. They might have conceded a penalty for a suspected trip on Azar. I don't think it was, though. But offensively, West Bromwich Albion were really, really poor. In fact, the closest they came to scoring was through Azpilicueta of Chelsea, a back header splendidly saved by Petr Cech. They were better towards the end of the game, but never really looked convincing winners or even likely to get a point. As for the atmosphere, it was muted. Not as hostile as we were led to believe it might be. A few boos for Rafa Benitez when he came to the touchline to control the ball and play it back for a throw-in to be taken. A couple more jeers, but very little else. Quiet, reserved, almost as if several thousand Chelsea fans have had enough of the story. They simply want to move on. But there was a decided end of the season feel to the game, and it was overall disappointing in the second half. Good first half performance though by Chelsea, I thought, and a welcome win, 1-0.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. Some good points there. If the fans did just decide to forget it now, get rid of,
That's what we said.
at the end of the season, then, you're more likely to succeed when your aim, which is to finish
That's
in the top
what we said.
4.
Clear the decks, concentrate on something else other than criticising me, because I'm not going to be here. I'll be gone in the summer, so you've got what you wanted. It's only going to be for another 2 or 3 months. Concentrate on getting them behind the side, and let's all work in one direction, because I'll be gone in the summer.
Because if Spurs beat Arsenal tomorrow, the gap then between the top 4 and Arsenal losing, it could be 4 or 5 points. So it was a massive win for Chelsea today.
And another win for Manchester United today takes them 15 points clear at the top. Of course, Manchester City weren't in action. They play Aston Villa on Monday. Alex Ferguson now talking to Damien Johnson.
So Alex, 4-0, you must be a happy man. 15 points clear at the top of the table tonight.
Yes, I'm delighted. I mean, it's the name of the game is to win your matches at this moment in time and keep that distance between our rivals, and eventually we've done it well today.
Wayne Rooney will get the headlines along with Kagawa. I mean, Kagawa's 3 finishes, very, very confident.
Very good. He is a good finisher, the boy, and he's just still getting that injury he had in October, November, set it back a little bit, but his form has come back quite slowly now, gradual, and with the hat-trick today, and particularly his second and third goals were terrific.
And Rooney, got in on the act with a fantastic shot from 25 yards out.
Yeah, we're pleased. Always the case with Wayne. That'll give his confidence a boost. You know, he'd been out 2 or 3 games recently, but good to get a goal back here today.
Was team selection difficult for you with Real Madrid on Tuesday in mind?
Yeah, it's always difficult now because the squad is playing really well. Every one of them is contributing. They have a terrific spirit about them, and so when you're leaving players out, you know you're making difficult choices because you could pick 3 or 4 different teams.
Where's he going to go on Tuesday night then?
The big decision for me is, where does he play Rooney? Because in Madrid he played Rooney on that left-hand side and he didn't have his best game, but he'd done a job for the team, but he was ineffective, going forward. I think United are going to score, because I think Real Madrid on the counter-attack will score. So I think, will he start Kagawa? His performance today was fantastic. Where does he play Rooney? Does he go 4-4-2, or does he play Rooney on the left?
Let's check in with Steve Wilson, who was at Old Trafford for Match of the Day, and see if he got any insight watching the full match there for us, of course. Steve, Kagawa had a great game. Did he play himself into a starting lineup, though? Where does Rooney play? Where does he fit into this jigsaw puzzle?
Well, I mean, it's a nice problem to have, isn't it, for Sir Alex Ferguson, really? I mean, Kagawa was a player who really, I thought, came of age for Manchester United today. His second and third goals were exquisitely taken. His first had a smack of fortune about it. Rooney's was a belter from outside the penalty area. Van Persie came through about 70 minutes. He's going to be fit and fine. Will Ryan Giggs play his 1,000th senior game in that big game on Tuesday night against Real Madrid? These are all things which will be going through Sir Alex Ferguson's mind, and he won't have that clear in his mind just yet what his starting lineup will be, of course. A thumping win today, 4-0. A little bit hard, Gabby, on Norwich, who, the last 3 goals came in the last 15 minutes. At 4:30, there were a few nerves around Old Trafford and 1 or 2 people wondering whether they were going to extend that lead to 15 points. Then came the second goal, and then Norwich ran out of legs and United made hay. 4-0 in the end, well deserved. And what team will he pick on Tuesday? Who knows? Kagawa will certainly think he's got a chance.
Looking forward to hearing you on Match of the Day tonight. Thank you very much, Steve. So, Manchester United 15 points clear at the top. Harry Redknapp's QPR now just 4 points from safety at the bottom, thanks to that win at St Mary's. Tony Husband caught up with him after the game.
Well, Harry, you've been targeting 20 points for survival. You can chalk 3 of them off after that today.
Yeah, big result for us. Great result today. Difficult place to come. Good team, Southampton, but good performance. That's what you get when you all work hard. Pick 11 players today to work. They did that. The ones who came on worked just as hard, and you get your rewards.
Where you were set up, the game plan worked very well for you.
Yeah, we played, Bobby wasn't fit. I played Jay Boothroyd up front, played Remy off the right where, and played with two wide men. And, Remy got his goal again, which was good. 2 goals, now he scored in 3 games. And Boothroyd managed to do the same, so it was good.
If one isn't fit, the other one is. So Remy comes on and does the job for you today. You're desperate to get those 2 playing together, but Remy's goal itself was an excellent one. Yeah,
he took it well, and he can do that. He's got pace, and just a case of getting him fitter now, but he'll do okay for us, I'm sure. And I thought Boothroyd did okay today for us. Jay's not had many opportunities, and I played him today, and I thought he did well.
Well, you can see QPR, their victory on Match of the Day tonight, along with all the 8 games played today in the Premier League at 10:25 in the company of Gary and the 2 Allens. And then exactly the same time on Sunday night is Match of the Day 2 for you, also on BBC One, featuring, of course, that big North London derby to savour for you. Alan Hansen, John Hartson and Sol Campbell, the last 2 know something about North London derbies, don't they? They'll be there for you with that one, and Colin, of course, as well. Harry Redknapp's reaction there when talking about his selection, quite instructive, I think.
Well, interesting to say, he picked 11 players to work hard. I think myself and Steve turned to them and went trapped. It's worked for him. He played Jay Boffrey, got the winning goal. A fair play to Harry today.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a roundabout sort of comment about Adab Tarat. There's no doubt about that. I like the bit about they went away, all the bad headlines, irritating about team building. Yeah. The result means it was team building. If it had been a bad result, it would have been ill discipline. Yeah. That's the perception and difference in a result can bring.
Yeah, a great result for them. Thank you very much, guys. I think we've worked together as a team today, don't you? Let's keep doing it. Yeah, we're on, of course, off BBC One now, but if you've got time, press the red button. There'll be more of this and a roundup of all the day's games through to 6. See you then.